Thank you. Hello everyone. Let's start our day with learnings. Welcome to science class where learning truth matters the most. Next slide, please. Next slide. I am Teacher Giselle, but you can call me Teacher Zell for short. And together with me is Teacher Chris, and we are always at your service. So before we start our lesson for this morning, let us pray first. Next slide. Let us bow down our heads and feel the presence of the Lord. Dear Father, we offer everything and thank you for everyone gathered here today to walk with you. May we ask you for your blessings and guidance so that the activities set for this undertaking be successful. We ask you to open your eyes to see the wonderful things from this activity, and we ask you to open our ears so that we may retain the invaluable knowledge. Open our minds for us to think wisely, put us with understanding, cooperation, and peace in fulfilling our responsibilities. Open our hearts so that we may receive your everlasting love, and open our spirits so that we may know that you are with us all throughout the day. We ask all this in the name of Jesus. Amen. Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right, everyone. Once again, good morning, my dear students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Next slide, please. All right, class. How are you doing today? Are you happy and well as excited for this morning?
We're doing okay, ma'am.
Wow, that's great to hear that all of you are doing great and you are all okay. All right, since my dear students, all of you are happy and excited for our lesson this morning, let's have first our learning objectives. All right, so at the end of the lessons, with 75% accuracy, the pupils will be able to first identify and classify the different interactions among living things. Second, participate actively in various activity and discussions. And lastly, you are going to illustrate the kinds of harmful and beneficial interaction among living things. Next slide, please. Okay, class, before we start our discussion, do you want to play a game?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what a big yes from Mr. Tosa. How about the others? Do you want to play a game?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Yes, ma'am.
so class, let's play jumbled words. So the mechanics of the game is simply you are going to arrange the letters in the word in order to make a correct word. So for those students that who will answer in this activity, you will receive a gift from me. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, so let's start. Let me see here who raised their hands. Right? Let me see. So we have here Miss Milona Pino.
Harmful, ma'am.
Okay, let's see if it is harmful. All right, Miss Milona, you're correct. It's harmful. Because of that, you will receive a stuffed toy from me. Very good. This is for you. How about the second? All right, let me have Miss Krisha Carretero.
Okay, so the word, ma'am, is living things.
Okay, is it living things? Let's see. All right, it's living thing. So, Miss Krisha, you are going to have an orange from me. So let's open. All right, very good. Now, let's have the third word. Okay, what's that, Miss Jeanette Bakaling?
Beneficial, ma'am.
Okay, is it beneficial? So next slide, Miss. All right, you're correct. It's beneficial. Because of that, you will have a banana. Now let's move on to the fourth word. All right, how about that, Miss Polisher? What is that?
Non-living things, ma'am.
Okay, let's see the answer in the next page. Okay, it is non-living things. You're correct. You will have an ice drop from me. How about the last word? All right, Miss Kaylin Justin, what is that?
Okay, so the word, ma'am, is interactions.
All right, it is interaction. So let's see in the next slide. Very good, Miss Kaylin. It is interaction. So you will have a toy from me. Good job. So class, did you have fun with our warm-up activity, jumbled letters?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Wow, that's great. So class, do you want to play another game?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so next slide, please. Let's have picture analysis. So class, all you have to do is to analyze each picture and be mindful because there will be follow-up question afterwards. So class, you will be given 1 minute to observe. So the time is 10:22 a.m. So by 10:23, we are going to start. All right, so your time starts now. Observe the pictures properly. Okay, there are 5 pictures, so observe it. All right, everyone, time is up. Next slide, please. Now, class, what can you observe in the given picture? May I have Miss Lapis?
Yes, ma'am. So, picture shows beneficial and harmful interaction among animals or plants and animals.
All right, so the given picture shows harmful and beneficial interactions. Thank you for that, Miss Lapis. You will have a star from me. Now, let's have number 2. When can we say that an interaction is beneficial and harmful, Miss Jamelyn Tortosa?
It is beneficial, ma'am, when it benefited both organism or doesn't put one organism in danger. Whereas it is harmful when it raises threat and danger to one organism.
All right. Thank you for that wonderful answer, Miss Jamelyn. That is correct. You will have an ice cream from me. How about Miss Diane Egot? Based from your observation in the given pictures, can you give some characteristics of harmful and beneficial interactions?
All right. So for me, some of the beneficial characteristic from my observations are kanang it doesn't harm each other organism or other organism, and also they interact cooperatively, and for the harmful one, raise threat and danger, and also it compete for the limited resources.
Thank you for that, Miss Diane. You are correct. So you will have a Mickey from me. Thank you. So, class, all of your answers are correct. All of you are very brilliant. So let's give everyone a round of applause. All right, so since I can sense that all of you are very energetic as well as active in our activity, let's play another game. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right,
Yes, ma'am.
next slide, please. So, the title of this game is Word Search. So, the mechanics, listen class, simply you are going to find the words inside the box that is related to interaction among living things. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so are we all set to play, my dear students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's go and start. So, what is the first word that we can found in the word search? Miss Marian Riponte?
The first word that I found, mom, is the word interactions.
So, interaction. Next slide, please. Okay, so we have here the first word, interaction. Good job, Miss Marian. You will have an ice cream from me. How about Miss Rosalie? What is the second word that we can find in the word search?
Kuan, ma'am, parasite.
Okay, parasite. Next slide, please. Okay, we have here parasite. Well done, Miss Rizali. So you will also have an ice cream from me. Now let's have Miss Love. What is the third word that we can find in the word search? Mutualism. Next slide. Alright, it's mutualism. So you will have a good job badge from me, Miss Love. Now let's move on to the fourth word. Can I have Miss Linnell?
Predator, ma'am.
Okay, we have predator. Next slide. Yes, you're correct, Miss Linnell. It's predator. So you will have an apple from me because of that. Now, what is in the fifth word that we can found in the word search? Can I have Miss Jessa Nolmeda?
Kuan ma'am kanang niche or niche.
Okay, it's niche. Let's see. Very good, Miss Jessa. So you will have a lollipops from me. Good job. Now let me have Miss Christy Rose for the sixth word. Is Miss Christy is around? All right. Can I have Mr. Lacunia?
Non-living things.
Okay, let's see. Next slide, please. Very good, Mr. Lacunia. It is living thing. So you will have a cat stuffed toy from me. Meow, meow, meow. All right, now let's move on to the next word, Miss Glindy Alit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is the next word?
Living things, ma'am.
All right, so it's Miss Christy Rose. So living things is done already. How about the seventh word, Miss Christy?
Parasitism, ma'am.
Okay, it's parasitism. So let's see. Okay, very good, Miss Christy. So you will have also another stuffed toys from me. It's parasitism. Now, can I have Miss Glendy May Alet for the eighth word that we can find in the word search?
Symbiosis.
Okay,
Ano ba ang
symbiosis.
original?
Let's see if it is symbiosis. Very good, Miss Alet.
Symbiosis.
It is symbiosis. So you will also have an ice drop from me. Well done. How about the next word, Miss Samantha?
Koan, ma'am. Predation.
Okay, predation. So let's see if there is predation in the word search. Okay, we have your predation. Well done, Miss Samantha. You will have a watermelon from me. Okay, now let's move on to the 10th word. What is the 10th word that we can find
Yes.
in the word search? Okay, let's
Ma'am.
have Miss Himaya.
Adaptation, ma'am.
Okay, adaptation. Let's see if we have adaptation in the word search. All right, good job, Miss Jenelyn. It is adaptation, so you will have a lemon from me. Okay, now let's move on to the next word. What is the next word, Mr. Albinda?
Oh, number 11 is host.
Okay,
Host.
host. Let's see. Very good, Mr. Albinda. So you will receive a trolls from me. It's a host. How about the next word? Can I have Miss Rifuela? Is Miss Rifuela around?
Competition, ma'am.
All right, so let's see if it is competition. Very good, Miss Rifuela. It is a competition, so I will give you a monkey stuffed toys for that. Okay, now let's move on to the next word. Can I have Miss Jane Lee?
Pray, miss.
Pray. So let's see if we have pray in the word search. Okay, very good, Miss Jane Lee. We have pray. So I will give you 2 stars for that. Now let's have the next word. Can I have Mr. Isnani?
Communalism, ma'am.
Okay, let's see if it is commensalism. Okay, very good, Mr. Isnani. It is commensalism. So you will have a fruits from me. Good job. Now, let's proceed to the next page. Next slide. All right, so since we are done with our activity word search, class, did you enjoy the activity?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you both enjoyed the activity. So based from the 3 previous activity that we had, what do you think is our lesson for this morning? Okay. Yes, Miss Kylene?
So I think our lesson for today is all about beneficial and harmful interactions among living things.
Very good, Miss Kylene Justin. So you are correct. So everyone, I encourage all of you to read our lesson title for this morning. Okay, let's read it. And 3, 2, 1, and go.
Beneficial and harmful interactions among living things.
All right, very good. So all of you will receive additional 5 points for participation. So class, there are 2 types of interaction among living things. What do you think is it? Okay, can I have Miss Nancy?
Beneficial and harmful interaction, ma'am.
All right, good job, Miss Nancy. It is beneficial and harmful interaction. Next slide, please. right, next slide. Okay, so we have here the two types of interaction among living things. It can be beneficial interaction or harmful interaction. Now, class, when you hear the word beneficial, what will come up to your mind? Yes, Miss Rosalie?
Well, maka-benefit ta ma'am and dili siya harmful sa atwa and all the surroundings po.
All right, so we can give benefits to others. Good job, Miss Rosalie. How about Miss Bayo? When we say of harmful interaction, what will come up to your mind?
Good morning, Miss. So when we say of harmful interaction, it can give a danger to us.
All right, so when we say of harmful interaction, it will give danger to us or to the living things that surrounds us. Also, my dear student, so since you are already know what is the two types of interaction among living things, now let's proceed to our lesson proper. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's start discussed about beneficial interaction. So class, when we say of beneficial interaction, it can also be called as positive interactions. All right, so what is the other name of beneficial interaction, class? Okay, you can just answer in chorus.
Positive interaction.
Very good, my dear students. So it is also called as positive interaction. So this means that organisms cooperate in a way that provides a net benefit to one another or at least one participant. So under beneficial interaction, we have here symbiosis. So please read. Can I have, wait, let me see. Can I have, right, let me see. Okay, can I have Miss Marianne Riponti?
Okay, symbiosis. Symbiosis is any relationship that involves two or more species of different kinds living and interacting together.
All right, thank you, Miss Riponte. So symbiosis is a term describing relationship or interaction between two dissimilar organisms. So there are two types also of symbiosis interaction, namely mutualism and commensalism. All right, so again, class, what are the two types of symbiosis?
Mutualism and commensalism.
Very good, Miss Jeremy. You are very active. It is mutualism and commensalism. So you will have 5 points for that. Now let's have mutualism. Next slide, please. Okay, so as you can see, we have here the two types of symbiosis, mutualism and commensalism. So now let's discuss what is mutualism. Okay, can I have Miss Himaya to read what is mutualism? Okay, is Miss Himaya around? Okay, all right. So can I have Mr. Lacunia to save Miss Himaya in reading the definition of... All right, Miss Himaya is here. So Miss Himaya, please read what is mutualism. Okay.
Naara ko, ma'am.
All right. Yes, Miss Himaya, please.
Mutualism is a kind of interaction, ma'am.
All right, so we have here mutualism. It is a kind of symbiosis in which both organisms benefit from the interaction. So when we say of mutualism, it is a kind of interaction between organisms of two different species in which each organisms benefit from the interaction in same way. So these type of interactions are common and ubiquitous throughout all our ecosystem. So mutualism may involve either the exchange of resources, such as shelter, food, and other nutrients. So just remember, class, the word mutual from mutualism. So mutual, which means something two people or group shares for good. So both organisms benefit from each other. So to better understand what is mutualism, let's have here an example. Okay, so we have here the first example, that is a bees and a flower. So let's discuss why it is belong to mutualism. So bees rely on the flower for a food source. The flower benefits because the bee picks up pollen and transport it to another flower. So these aid in the reproductions of the plant. So the bees benefit from the flower because it is the source of food, while flower benefited also from the bees for her reproduction. Alright, so now let's have the second example of mutualism for us to better understand what is mutualism is. Okay, so we have here an algae and a spider crab. Okay, so spider crabs lives in a shallow area of the ocean floor, and the greenish-brown algae lives on the crab's backs, making the crabs blend in with their environment and unnoticeable to predators. And the algae get a good place to live, and the crabs also gets camouflage. So both organisms benefit to each other because they protected one another. That's why it is called mutualism, because both of the organisms benefited from each other. Alright, class, so before we proceed to the second type of symbiosis, do you have any questions or clarification about mutualism?
None so far, ma'am.
Alright, so let's have the second type of symbiosis. We have here commensalism. So please read Miss Erna. Is Miss Erna around? Alright, I think Miss Erna is not around. So can I have Miss Milana to read what is commensalism?
Commensalism is a kind of symbiotic interaction in which one organism is helped and the other is neither helped nor harmed.
Alright, so when we say of a commensalism, it is a relationship between individuals of two species in which one species obtains food or other benefit from the other without either harming or benefiting the latter. So here in commensalism, ang buot gipasabot ani niya either ang usa ka organism naka-benefit or wala. If wala siya naka-benefit, wala pud siya na harm. So now let's have an example under commensalism. Next slide. Okay, we have here an orchid living in a tree. So orchids are a family of flowering plants that grow on trunks and branches of the other trees. The epiphytic plants are commonly found in dense tropical forests. So orchids rely on the host plant for the sunlight and nutrients that flow on branches. They do not grow to be a large plant and do not harm the host tree in any manner. So orchids have their photosynthesis process and do not extract any nutrients from the host plant, which is the tree, and apart from the water that flows on the outer bark. So on the other hand, the host plant, which is tree, gain no benefits from the orchids. So only the orchids gain benefit from a tree. Yes, the orchids gain benefits from the tree without harming the tree at all. So that is commensalism. Now let's have the second example under commensalism. Alright, so we have here birds' nest on the trees. Okay, so birds that live in the hollows of trees are commensal. Their presence generally does not harm to the tree, but the tree provides the bird with shelter and protection. So that is commensalism, class. Do you have any questions?
None so far, ma'am.
All right, so none so far. I think you understand what is beneficial interaction. Again, under beneficial interaction, we have symbiosis. Symbiosis has two types. It can be mutualism or commensalism. So now, class, let's proceed with the second type of interaction among living things. That is harmful interaction. All right, Teacher Chris, the class is yours now. Have fun!
So good morning once again, students. And now we are done discussing about the beneficial interactions, and we are down to the harmful interactions among living things. So are you ready to learn?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start. So please, next slide. So first is parasitism. So can anyone read what is parasitism? Okay, I have here Mr. Lacunia. Can you please read?
All right, parasitism is a harmful interaction in which one organism benefits the expense of another. The organisms that benefit is called the parasite. The organisms that is harmed is called the host.
So, okay, thank you. So, in other term class, this is a relationship between different species in which one organism lives on or on the other organism and benefits from it by causing harm. So, ang example ani niya class is, for example, kanang bitang iro, then naa siya yung mga, say tawag nga ni, kanang silbi kuto nila ba? So, may benefit siya sa iro. So, ang nasa, makaharm po siya kay kung if kuha na to ang iro, mamupuyo na bitaw dito ang mga kuto kay maunsa ang iro. So, makagiron sila or for example, kuan ang ilang mga buhok. Nga na, mao na siya, that is parasitism. Maka-benefit ang other nga kanang other nga organism, then ang iyang na-benefitan kay mao say ma-harm. Understand ra or nakasabot ra?
Yes, please.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
next slide please. So as I said, ang example sa parasitism, the tick living on the dog. Mao na siya, like fleas. Ingan, mao na siya ang example. So, next slide please. So, predation. Who can read what is predation? Okay, Miss Jane Lee Polvera. Can you read please?
Predation is another example of harmful interaction. It is the eating of one living organism by another. It is also known as predator-prey relationship. The organism that is eaten is called the prey, and the organism that kills and eats the other organism is called the predator.
So, okay, so this means that an animal hunts, kills, and eats other animals. So, next slide go please. Ang kuana niya, example kay, for example, kay kani snakes feeding on chicks, turtle feeding on monkey, and shark feeding on small fish. So, ang best example niya kay kana bitawng mga tiger, mukaon sila og lain nga kaon sila og lain nga animals bitaw, like ang tiger mo hunt og kanang karabaw naman kanang lion, silbi ilang kanon, mao na siya predation. Next slide please. So next is competition. Can anyone read? Miss Diane, can you read please?
Yes, so competition. Competition is another example of harmful interaction. The interaction of individuals that vie for a common resource that is in a limited supply.
So this interaction mainly occur for food sources. However, Organisms fight for the other sources such as territory, shelter, and mates. So example ani niya is, next slide please. Hello ko, next slide, Job. Okay, so example, plants may compete for available nutrients, water, sunlight, and soil. Animals compete with both members of the same species and with other species for resources, food, and hiding places to avoid predator. So, kuan siya kanang ang plants kay, for example, plants no, then kanang mag-compete sila sa kanang unsay kanang, for example, mag-ilog bitaw sila sa sunlight then para sa pangalan niya. Then ang animals kay magkuan sila kanang mag-ilog sila sa pagkaon, sa ilang asa sila mag-hide, asa sila magpuyo. Mana siya competition, it's from the word competition. Next please. So the last one is intraspecific competition. Kindly read Miss Jameline.
So, interspecific competition. Competition between organisms of the same species and or organisms of different species.
Yes, so it is the competition between organisms of the same species and or organisms of different species. So ang example ani niya jud kay kanang sharks and whales that feed on the same seafood. So ang kanang mga ang mga kanang bitang shark kay ang ilang pagkaon ra sad kay seafood ra, like mukaon ra sad silang isda, ang whales mukaon na pod siya og kanang isda, mao na siya intraspecific competition na nakasabot ra ba mo guys, or na may question, clarifications?
None so far, ma'am.
Okay, so since you don't have any questions, let us proceed to the next slide please. So to sum up or to generalize our discussion for today, I have here some questions for you to answer. So number 1 is, what are the 2 types of interactions among living things? For 5 points, who can answer what are the 2 types of interactions among living things? So, Miss Grisha Carretero.
Okay, so the 2 types of interaction among living things are beneficial interactions and harmful interactions, ma'am.
All right, thank you for that, Miss Carretero. Now let's proceed to the next. What are the 2 beneficial interaction among living things? Can I have Miss Pardoncelio?
The 2 beneficial interactions among living things are the mutualism and the commensalism.
Very good, Miss Pardoncelio. Now, can I have Miss Bayo for what are the 3 harmful interaction among living things?
So the 3 harmful interactions among living things are the parasitism, competition, and predation, ma'am.
Thank you, Miss Bayo. And for the last, why there is a need for living things to interact? Can I have Miss Bailoses? Is Miss Bailoses around? All right, so can I have Miss Gerald Lapis?
For survival.
All right, so there is a need for living things to interact for us to survive in the ecosystem. Well done, my dear student. Now let's proceed to the next page. All right, now let's have the second under the generalization. Okay, what do you think will happen if there is no interaction among living things? Yes, Mr. Lacunia.
What if the rule? Can you repeat the question, please? I'm sorry.
So the question is, what do you think? Let's number 3 na or number 2?
Number 2 pa.
Number 3 or 2? Hindi ko makadungtuan.
Number 2 pa, Miss Criza.
Okay, so what do you think will happen if there's no interaction among living things? For 5 points, who can answer? Okay, Mr. Lacunia.
What will happen if there is no interaction? They will not survive.
Okay. So, number 3, for 10 points, let's imagine you are on a hiking in the middle of the forest. You see a python snake in a trail. You know that this type of snake is harmful, and anytime the snake will hit you, what will you do in this type of action? Okay, for 10 points. Who can answer? Okay, Miss Kailin.
For me, I will run or just leave it alone, the snake. Masagdan na lang siya. Yeah.
Okay, very good. That's correct. Another. Who has an idea? Okay, Miss Jamaica.
Diyan siguro ko magliho. Kaya once example kay kung panalitan kung example ko
Balibulan lang dyan po yan.
ay sayot ay
Okay, Miss Jamaica, let's go ahead. Okay, so I guess that's it, and all of your answers are correct. So all of you, for those who answered, will receive points. Okay, thank you. Next slide, please. So, another question for you guys to answer. So number 1, what are the importance of beneficial and harmful interaction among living things in the ecosystem? For 5 points.
Alright, everyone. So since we are running out of time, so what are the importance of beneficial and harmful interaction of living things in the ecosystem? Yes. Yes, it is very important because it will help us to survive in our daily needs, and also will give us protection in our environment. And we have here the second question. At home or in school, what should we do to make the ecosystem balanced? So in order to keep our ecosystem balanced, we must preserve those animals that are called as endangered species now, and also we should be responsible in taking in our action towards the ecosystem. And we have here the last, how can we minimize the harmful interaction in the ecosystem? So in order to minimize the harmful interaction in the ecosystem, we should have perseverance, or we should preserve what we have now so that it will not perish all away. Next slide, please. All right, so for the evaluation, I will just give a document for you to answer since we don't have any time. So next slide, please. I will send later. Okay, it is 10 item multiple choice, and also 10 identification true or false. Don't worry, class, because the evaluation is very easy. And for you, you are all brilliant and clever. So I am assuming that all of you will get a perfect score. So this time I will give the assignment. So just take a screenshot with it. All right. Are you done taking the screenshot of our assignment? We have here the direction. Please do self-reading na lang for the assignment direction. All right. Next slide, please. Okay, class. So we are done with our class lesson for this morning about beneficial and harmful interaction of living things. Did you have fun, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We had also fun having you, a very brilliant student. So that's all for today, class. Thank you so much and goodbye. See you around, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. So can I request everyone to open their cam for the attendance? All right. Okay. Okay, my dear students, you are very gorgeous and handsome. All right, let's take a selfie now. Okay, let's do walk. Okay, this is for your attendance. Wear your prettiest and gorgeous smile. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. See you around.
Bye, ma'am.